Welcome to this presentation, which aims to guide you through the appraisal process. If you're new to appraisals, it should explain an overview of the appraisal process and what you need to do. There's a link to a feedback form at the end, and if you want a certificate, add your details at the end of the feedback form and we'll send you one. The GMC website is where you'll get the most up-to-date requirements for revalidation. It's essential you access this. The Trust Appraisal and Revalidation Policy has local processes and is available on the intranet. The Academy of Medical Royal Colleges, AOMRC, has useful information to help with guidance. The Royal Colleges relevant to your specialty will have specific advice. The information will be on their website. The Appraisal and Revalidation Department can be contacted. Details are on the Trust intranet and later in the slideshow. You might initially feel intimidated by the appraisal process. However, it should be a positive and helpful experience. It's important to realize it's not about passing or failing. It's an opportunity to reflect on your practice, highlight your achievements, and plan for your future growth as a doctor. Revalidation happens, usually, every 5 years. A recommendation is sent to the GMC by your responsible officer based on the evidence from your yearly appraisals, having reviewed your engagement with yearly appraisal meetings and your supporting information as evidence of you fulfilling the GMC requirements. We'll cover the key steps to prepare, what evidence you should be including, to making the process feel empowering, rewarding, and revalidation as easy as possible. The purpose of the medical appraisal is not just a box-ticking exercise. It is pivotal to your professional development. This formal yearly review is core to the GMC revalidation process and a contractual obligation in your terms and conditions of employment. They are designed to ensure that you're meeting the regulatory requirement of your role as a doctor, as set out by the General Medical Council. It is a process where you reflect on your practice, discuss your strengths and areas for growth, review your achievements and challenges over the last year, and set actionable goals for the year ahead. This is about you reviewing what went well, what didn't go to plan, and most importantly, your potential for growth as a doctor. You'll need to gather documentation and supporting information and keep your portfolio organized. Ideally, use an electronic portfolio to keep everything together. Keep adding information throughout the year. It saves you time when you're completing the input form that's submitted a couple of weeks before your appraisal meeting. Check the GMC and relevant Royal College websites for updated guidance. Formal patient and colleague feedback is required, a minimum of once per revalidation cycle. Aim for year 2 of revalidation cycle. Contact appraiser 1 to 2 months before appraisal date to allow for holidays and work schedules. In the appraisal software, you store your supporting information. The input form is where you collate all the information from the previous year, document reflections, and declare some facts about your submission. It sets out the information in a structure that makes it easier for the appraiser to analyze the evidence gathered to show you are complying with GMC guidance. About 2 months before your appraisal anniversary month, you'll receive emails prompting you that your appraisal is due. You should log in to your Premier IT account and start preparing for your appraisal meeting. Contact your appraiser and plan a date for your appraisal. About 2 weeks before your appraisal meeting, you'll need to submit your input form for the appraiser to review. Complete all sections and put comments in when asked.
Do not add patient-identifiable documents, bring sensitive document to meeting, and ensure appraiser records them in output form. Record whole of practice. Include work done for a locum agency, private practice, external organizations, and voluntary work, especially if you do it as a doctor.
The GMC sets out 4 domains, which it expects you to collect evidence on a yearly basis. They are Domain 1, Knowledge, Skills, and Development. Domain 2, Patients, Partnership, and Communication. Domain 3, Colleagues, Culture, and Safety. And Domain 4, Trust and Professionalism. Let's look at some examples of evidence that would fit into each domain. These are examples. Your Royal College will have more detailed examples related to your specialty.
Domain 1. Knowledge, Skills, and Development. Collect evidence that you 1. Maintain your professional performance. 2. Apply knowledge and experience to practice. 3. Are competent in all areas of practice. Collect CPD activities, courses, webinars, certifications, clinical audits or quality improvement projects, educational initiatives, research or publications. CPD, avoid tick box attitude. The Royal Colleges still suggest 50 hours of learning per year. Collect learning for the whole scope of work. It doesn't always have to be a formal event. Self-learning is acceptable. With all, you should be recording the learning and reflecting on your development and/or changes to patient care as a result of learning. Try not to list all activities, but produce a summary of learning events with reflection and certificates if appropriate. Keep a list throughout the year of learning and upload before the appraisal meeting. If learning occurred, record it and reflect on it. The Royal Colleges usually have a means to collect CPD. You should be looking at having some yearly audits or quality improvement projects, but the GMC guidance doesn't specify they have to be yearly.
Domain 2, Patients, Partnership, and Communication. Show evidence to show you 1. Communicate effectively, 2. Work constructively with colleagues to maintain or improve patient care, 3. Teaching, training, supporting, and assessing, 4. Continuity and coordination of care, 5. Establish and maintain partnerships with patients. Patient feedback. Include any individual unsolicited feedback obtained each appraisal, e.g., thank you cards, emails, etc. Formal patient feedback needs to be done once every 5-year revalidation cycle. Don't keep putting this off. Aim for year 2 of revalidation cycle to ensure it's done. This, with colleague feedback, is the most common reason for doctors failing to revalidate. Premier IT has a relatively easy system to collect formal patient feedback. Click the Feedback tab at the top right of the home screen and follow instruction. Patient feedback is about your communication and how you engage with them. It should be collected independently, randomly, and without bias. You'll need to ensure you send the responses back to Premier IT for collation and publication as a document. Remember to include the declaration. You'll need to reflect on the responses and discuss in an appraisal meeting. Include any departmental, QI, or accreditation that you've been part of as additional evidence. You are likely to be involved with teaching and training of others. Record and reflect on teaching. Get feedback on the quality of the teaching.
For those with clinical supervisory or educational supervisory roles, you'll need to collect evidence for your educational appraisal, which is done as part of this appraisal meeting.
Domain 4. Trust and professionalism. Be able to show evidence of 1. Show respect for patients. 2. Treat patients and colleagues fairly and without discrimination. 3. Act with honesty and integrity. Include your whole scope of work: private practice, medical legal, voluntary roles, locum, or out-hospital work. Obtain feedback from these organizations each year as evidence of your practice and any governance issues that occur outside Bolton Hospital. Medical defense cover is advised but not mandatory. Mention probity or any conflicts of interest. Include a copy of your job plan. Mandatory training is not essential for revalidation, but it is a contractual requirement and should be included each year. You should aim to be 100% compliant, but don't delay appraisals if not. Discuss at the appraisal meeting any problem achieving compliance and plans to get to 100%. If there is something you wish to discuss, either add a reflective document or bring up at the appraisal meeting. Do not include sensitive information in the document, and the output form shouldn't contain specifics of discussion without your permission. Part of the appraisal process is to reflect on what you've done over the last 12 months, but also what you plan to do over the next few years. Where do you see yourself in, say, 5 years' time, and what you would like to achieve? Set yourself goals to be achieved in the short term and medium term. We call this personal development planning, where you write down some specific goals with realistic timescales to match. Your personal development plan, PDP, is like a roadmap for the year ahead. These are your goals, not that of the appraiser, and should be discussed and agreed at appraisal meeting. It's important they use SMART principles, which stands for specific, what exactly do you want to achieve? Measurable, how will you know you've succeeded or completed it? Achievable, that it is within your reach. Relevant, does it align with your long-term goals? Time-bound, when do you want to achieve it by? Set a date to focus your actions to achieve them. For example, instead of just saying improve endoscopy skills, a SMART goal would be to complete an advanced endoscopy training course in 6 months' time, with outcome being my enhanced procedural competence and improved intubation success rate. If this is your first appraisal, you may not have a previous PDP to review, but next year and subsequent years, you'll be looking back and discussing your previous PDP goals at the appraisal meeting. Were last year's goals accomplished? If not, why not? This review is a great way to show how you've grown and how you plan to keep moving forward. Reflection is an integral part of the GMC revalidation process, and you need to reflect on your supporting information and portfolio. There is no set way to reflect. The GMC have published a document you should read, The Reflective Practitioner. Search GMC Reflective Practitioner. Reflection isn't just about looking back on your work, it's about learning from it. Reflect on both your successes and challenges. There are several structured models for reflection. You can use whatever you feel comfortable with. You could, for example, reflect on a challenging case where you learned something new, a positive experience, clinical or non-clinical, how you handled patient complaints or difficult feedback, changes where you've made to improve patient care or your own clinical practice. The reflection process is essential for showing that you're committed to continuous improvement. Multi-source feedback is often a central component of the appraisal process. It's like receiving a 360-degree snapshot of your performance with insights from patients, colleagues, and other healthcare professionals. You'll need to send out surveys well ahead of time, at least 3 months for patient feedback. You'll need to review the feedback carefully, looking for patterns rather than individual comments. Reflect on strengths and areas for improvement highlighted. With feedback, it's not about gathering information, it's about using it to grow and develop. The GMC stipulate guidelines on collection of feedback. User-recognized process saves a lot of hassle.
Be prepared by reviewing your supporting information and decide what you want to discuss and reflect on together. The appraisal meeting is a confidential discussion with a trained appraiser. You should be confident to openly discuss your strengths and areas for improvement. Be willing to discuss challenging situations, complaints, clinical incidents, etc. After your appraisal meeting, review any notes you've made with actions for next meeting. Review the output form and give feedback to your appraiser when the report is sent back. Your appraisal isn't recorded as complete until this is done. Ensure your PDP plan is worked into your diary. Start collecting information as you go for next year's appraisal.
Thank you and good luck. Contact the appraisal and revalidation team with queries.
Click Control button and link to complete the feedback and add your name and email address if you want a certificate. Thank you. Click Control button and link to complete the feedback and add your name and email address if you want a certificate. Thank you.